Hey everybody, good morning. It's Justice for Comics. It's Monday morning. Hope everybody had a great weekend, watching lots of football games. I did catch some of that KC and Cincinnati game, and I know there's a lot of controversy regarding the officiating. Some of those calls were definitely a little questionable. Seem to be on the side of KC, but yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I think I think over the years, they're always saying it's rigged. That's what people on the other side always say. I didn't have neither of those teams were anyone I was going for. So I don't really. So saying I don't have a dog in this fight. So looks like it's going to be Philly and KC. My prediction is that the Philadelphia Eagles will win it. They seem to have a slightly better team. Mahomes is playing with slightly injured ankle still. I just think Philly will end up winning, but we'll see if I'm right in that prediction. So take note of that. Philly will win. As far as guessing points, um, I'm going to say it's kind of an odd point structure. I think 34 points Philadelphia, 27 for KC. So we'll see if that works out. Who knows? I have a feeling it also could be a low scoring game. So yeah, we'll see. All right, let's jump into it. I have pulled up here on my screen CBSI comicbookinvest.com. This is their website that does a weekly recap of hot comics for the week for various reasons. It could be auction sales, it just could be news that came out on a particular comic book or comic property. So we're going to review it. I'll give you my take on it. So let's start with honorable mentions. And first off, we've got Treehouse of Horror #1. Kind of a cool cover. It has that old horror comic book feel to it. This book, I think, came out in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Probably the height of Simpson popularity back then. 9.8 just sold for $450. Not a lot of 9.8 sales, only 33 on the census. This book has been continually rising since 2019. So if you're a Simpson fan, I mean, the Simpsons are always going to be pretty popular, and to have early versions of their comic book, I think Simpsons #1 is still not a super expensive book in high grade even. The white cover, I mean, it's sort of maybe difficult to get in high grade, but I've seen it, over the years for not too much money. I don't know if that's changed recently. The other one mentioned is Daredevil Comics #1. Not the Daredevil we're all familiar with, but this is the Golden Age Daredevil. You can see him landing a windpipe punch to Hitler. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy cover. You got Hitler on the cover. I would imagine any old comic book with Hitler on the cover is probably going to be somewhat of an item that people are interested in. Yeah, it's yellow background. I like yellow covers. I think these older Golden Age covers with the yellow background are definitely eye-catching. It's just a cool cover. I can see why somebody paid a lot of money. CGC 3.5 and missing the centerfold, and still sold for $3,800. So yeah, just not a lot of those out there, I'd imagine. All right, we'll start off here with the list. Number 10, Last Ronin, The Lost Years #1. This is the Mike Deodato 1/100 Virgin variant. Yeah, selling right about ratio. It's a cool cover. Everybody got this idea of the green ghost-like figures from Aaron Bartling. He definitely should get credit for that. Way back with The Last Ronin #1, he did a limited edition Line Breakers cover. I missed it. It was very hard to get, sold out so quickly, and yeah, it's super, super expensive book. The originals on that. It's been homaged a bunch of times, and to me, this is just another homage, really, of Aaron Bartling's work. So yeah, nice cover though. Diodado's pretty cool. I like the black and white one as well. I think it, this kind of the black and white sketch really is eye popping on this cover. So that is definitely popular right now with Turtle fans. I did pick up a couple of exclusives on that series for issues 1 and 2, so I'll be showing those off, especially on Instagram. In fact, I posted a couple comic books this morning on Instagram, so make sure you check that out. Number 9 on the list is Daredevil, number 1 from 2011. This is the John Romita 1 in 50 variant. Was $65. Now it's up to $250. Yeah, one of the reasons I think this book is hot is a lot of people don't like John Romita's artwork. I'm one of those as well. I don't care for it. It's not a style of art that I like at all. And I would imagine back in 2011, variants are much more popular today. Back then, they were certainly more obscure. Most shops probably didn't give them much thought. So this is just one of those books that is now extremely rare. And there are Romita fans out there, I suppose. So maybe if they're collecting rare Romita variants, this is definitely one of those hard to find grails. Yeah, it's just not anything I would dump a bunch of money for. Obviously, if I saw it at a comic book shop for cheap, around ratio or slightly above ratio, I would pick it up just because I could resell it. But yeah, not a book I would want to keep in my collection just because I'm not a big Romita fan. Number 8 on the list. Now, this is an artist I do like. David Nakayama, Action Comics 1051. Just a cool cover of Power Girl. I mean, he's very good at drawing women. He's kind of up there, maybe not the same level as Adam Hughes, but I think he's definitely got some talent. And this is just a regular cover that goes for $10. There is an incentive variant for this that's selling around $100, right around ratio. There's a 1 in 100 foil version of this. What I like about DC's incentive variants is at least they put them on nice, thick cardstock, paper. The covers are really usually more formidable than Marvel. A lot of times they'll do a foil version, which is really cool. I just, hats off to DC. They do a much, much better job of using higher quality materials, especially on their incentives versus Marvel. Marvel could care less. And, it shows. I think it's much easier to get a higher grade with a DC incentive variant than a Marvel. And I don't know. I just think this one's a really good one. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I kind of agree with Ben here. Even the regular variants that are selling around $10, this was a B cover variant. I do think in a few years, this will be a maybe 15, maybe 20, $25 book just because of the cover. Number 7 is a book that I haven't seen in a while. I do own this book myself in the collection. Marvel Comics presents number 6. This is all the way back in 2019. This is the Segura 1 in 25 variant. So it's one of those second printing 1 in 25 variants that everyone just loves to put hate on. And I understand it. But obviously they're more rare. This is the first cover appearance of one of Wolverine's daughters. I don't know. I don't know how many children Wolverine has, but he gets around. What can I tell you? Superheroes like to spread their seed around the superhero earth. But this is one of Wolverine's children. I don't think there's any buzz about her coming into any storylines in the future, but yeah, it's a $120 book. I think this was one of those books that one of my subscribers AOK'd to me, which was nice. So I don't think I paid anything for this variant. So that was awesome. And if I remember correctly, I'll give a shout out to my good friend Marcus. I think Marcus is the one that sent that to me. And Yeah, it remains in the personal collection in a nice mylight, and there it shall remain. Who knows? One day, maybe this blonde Wolverine version will show up somewhere, somehow. TV show, movie, who knows? And this book could be explosive. But definitely one of those books that's not the easiest to find out there. I don't know if there's any eBay listings, but that might be one to check out. Number 6 on the list is The Last of Us, number 4. I think I have this book in my collection. I got to check. I remember getting a couple of the issues of The Last of Us from Dark Horse, and I think I may have this. I'll have to rummage through some of my long boxes and see. But yeah, raw condition. This issue has gone up to $20 to $30. Or no, I'm sorry, it went from 20 to 30 up to $50 to $70, and a 9.6 just sold for $150. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I still haven't seen last night's episode, so I may have some time this week to check that out. But yeah, the first 2 episodes were great. I thought it was very well done. I like it quite a bit. I'm not going to say that it's better than Walking Dead yet, but it has that Walking Dead feel to it. Um, yeah, we'll see. I'd like to see where it goes. I'm going to watch the 3rd episode here this week, so I'll let you know what I think of that. But so far, it's so far so good, and it's helping the comic book. So it's nice to see a video game that made a comic book becomes a TV show that's doing well. So that's good to see. Number 5 is Sex Criminals. Number 1. I have a couple copies of this book. Bought for cover price way back in the day. I think I collected like the first 12 issues. Yeah, it's a little out there. I mean, God, the especially when I was younger. I can imagine all the orgasms creating a stoppage of time. Can you imagine? Be happening all the time. But yeah, supposedly Amazon Prime is picking this up, so we'll see this book perhaps get more attention. If you have this book in your collection, I would hold on to it for a little while. I think if the series does well, I think you could see this book easily top $80 to $100 for this first issue. Um, yeah, and there's some cool covers. It's Chip Zdarsky art. You got Matt Fraction doing the writing. Yeah, if you find it, I mean, that's one of those books too that you could probably find in a back issue bin for cheap. Um, Maybe not super cheap, but if you can get it for $5 to $10, I think it's a good buy. Again, I think if the show does well, it'll be upwards of $80 to $100 for that first issue. That's what I think it could grow to. Number 4 on the list is Biker Mice from Mars. Number 1. Believe it or not, this is Marvel Comics, kind of a parody comic book. Was around $10, now up to $25 to $30. Comicbook.com is reporting that this odd property is going to be redeveloped. Strange. Yep. I don't, who knows? Companies seem to be starving for content, so why not have some mice that are from Mars that have antennas on their heads and like to ride around in bicycles and leather? Yeah, makes sense. Number 3 is Bitch Planet. Number 1. I had this book in my collection at one time, and I think I was doing some auction sales probably over a year ago, and I let this book go for pretty cheap. I don't know. I threw it in a bundle of books that I was selling. The story is absolutely terrible. I read the first issue. It was pretty bad. This is absolute SJW garbage. Of course, the writer is Kelly Sue DeConnick, which probably one of the biggest SJWs out there. So I'm not surprised. Just likes to hit on racial themes and men are pieces of shit and women are the best, and it's all that kind of stuff. So if that's your bread and butter, then this book speaks to you. Raws are selling $15 to $20. 9/8 are about $85. And yeah, that seems to have been dead spec until just now. Amazon Prime is supposedly picking this show up. We'll see how it goes. If it's based on the comic book, it's going to be absolute garbage. So maybe they'll do something better with it. I don't know. Maybe take the concept and twist it around a little bit. But if it's based on the comic book, I don't suspect it will do well. So I'm not telling you to go out and buy this book, but if you see it for cheap out there in the wild, maybe grab one. Number 2 is Sins of Sinister number 1. This is the Artgerm 1 in 100 Virgin variant. Yeah, another beautiful cover by Artgerm. Again, he's very, very good at drawing ladies, good-looking ladies with nice long legs. So there is a regular B cover version of this, and if the trade dress version wasn't out there, I totally agree with Ben. This book would be like $300-400 right now. Similar to like Frizen. Frizen, if you remember that 1 in 100 that she did for Sandman, that book would not be near the value that it is today if there was a B cover, version of it. But again, not surprising. Marvel loves to take collectability away. That's the big difference between DC and Marvel. Marvel could care less about collectors and scarcity. They'd rather just sell a ton of comic books, and that's the problem you have here. But yeah, $150 to $180. I picked one up for ratio, so I got one for $99, which is a good deal comparatively. And don't have it yet. I should be getting it in the mail in the next week, so I will be likely posting that on my Instagram page. And number 1 for the week is Star Wars: The High Republic, The Blade, issue number 2. This is the Miko Suyan 1 in 25 variant, selling around $75 to $80. I checked eBay this morning. There's one auction already at $75 and has a couple days left. There's some buy it nows that are much higher. So I think the book has even gone higher than as of this posting here by CBSI. So yeah, expect to be paying more than that, more than $100 probably for this issue at the moment. It does have a first appearance, and of course it's an incentive variant. Not too many shops are going to order super heavy on an issue 2 of High Republic. A number of how many Star Wars comic books do we have out these days? There's a bunch of them. So this one, a lot of people just don't plan ahead for that, and I don't know how you could. I randomly got lucky and got one for below ratio, so I picked one up for about $17. Don't have it yet in hand, but when I do, I will be posting that on my Instagram. But that's your list, guys. There's your hot 10 books. So yeah, there's a bunch of good ones on there. There's a couple ones on there that are slightly questionable, but most of the comic books on the list this week I like. There's some really good ones, good stories, good artwork, some rarity to it as well. But that's your list. Let me check the stream. We got no one watching right now. Well, it is 10 o'clock on a Monday. I didn't expect to have anybody watching live, but yeah, most of you will watch this in replay. Please leave a comment on the video. Let me know what you think. Maybe there was something else I could have brought out regarding this list. I will have a normal Wednesday new comic book day video and live stream on Wednesday afternoon, highlighting the books that are coming out the following week. I will also show off a couple books that I'm getting in the mail this week, and I will have a live show on Thursday. And I'm planning on making an appearance on Immortal Biggie Shack show on Friday evening. So check me out later this week on Friday. I will be on Biggie Shack show along with his other panelists, probably like 5 or 6 of us, I'm sure. So I'll make an appearance. I don't know if I'll stay on the whole entire show, but I'll plan to make an appearance at least. All right, guys. Hope you have a great week. Go get your comics, and make sure you're following me on Instagram, and make sure you share and like the video. I appreciate all that you do for me, and I'll see you guys soon.